definitive lawyer answer,
Okay.
but you asked for it. This is a nice quote. Ohio government immunity laws provide broad protection, but exceptions exist for negligence in maintaining public roads and sidewalks, potentially allowing lawsuits against municipalities for injuries for unrepaired conditions. However, that is extraordinarily fact sensitive. So as a blanket statement, the answer is yes, there's potential, but it has to be looked at on a case-by-case basis. I had one of these about 10 years ago. It's the only one I've ever had.
That was an exciting game.
It was.
Fifteen and oh. Never been able.
Ready to go for the
Yep.
regular meeting?
Yes.
All right, I will call the regular Oxford City Council meeting to order. Ms. Barber, you can call the roll.
Ms. Franklin?
Here.
Ms. French?
Here.
Ms. Ornelas?
Here.
Mr. Snavely?
Yes, I'm here.
Mayor Smith?
Here. All right, we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Vice Mayor French, seconded by Mr. Franklin. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, we will start with public participation, and we have a notice to legislative authority, and I think Mr. Elliott's going to take this one.
Yes, this is a change in ownership name from Alina Oxford LLC, doing business as Oxford Pit Stop at 5182 College Corner Pike. From, I said it reverse, it's to them. It's from BAPPAS Inc. at the same location to what I just read to you. So this is a change in ownership name.
All right, do we need a motion to approve without comment?
I move that we receive it without comment.
Second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Franklin. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. Anyone else wishing to address council about items that are not on the agenda or on the consent agenda may come forward, and we will give you 5 minutes at this time. Seeing no one, literally, we will move to the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Savely, second by Ms. French. Any items to be removed tonight? Seeing none, all those in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, consent agenda is approved. We will move down to resolutions. Ms. Barber, would you like to read the first resolution?
A resolution accepting the recommendation of the Oxford Parking and Transportation Advisory Board establishing the priority routes within the draft bicycle and pedestrian master plan for the purpose of future infrastructure cost estimation.
Motion to adopt.
So moved?
Second.
All right, and we'll go to Mr. Perry.
Thank you. This is the first half of the recommendations from Parking and Transportation Advisory Board, not one we discussed tonight, but one we discussed the previous work session. And on the screen, I'm going to have a map of the route plan, and there's the 4 corridors that we had brought forward. So Sycamore, Chestnut, Locust, and
Larry.
College.
Yep.
Yeah. So actually, no. Sycamore, Chestnut, College, and Campus, not Locust. Locust is a future study area. So this is the same map that we had on the work session, and there's no projects planned. And so I underlined that in staff report. There's nothing planned. What this would do is allow the consultant to move forward with the cost estimation, potentially for projects in the future. But we can't plan those projects until we have cost estimates, which would allow us to apply for grants. So it's a very iterative process. So with your blessing on this, that would allow the consulting team, KZF Design, Eric Anderson, who I think was, you may remember from the work session, his team would move forward with the engineering design, which is a 30% schematic design, which is sufficient for accurate cost estimation for grant application purposes for just these 4 street corridors.
All
That's
right.
all I have.
Anyone from the public who would like to address this resolution before council? Seeing none, any further council questions or discussion? All right. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Great, that resolution carries. All right, we'll move to ordinances. We have no first readings. We have 1 second reading. Ms. Barber, you may read that.
An ordinance amending salaries and certain benefits for salaried and hourly, full-time and part-time employees within the service of the City of Oxford, Ohio, paid from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
Motion to adopt.
So moved. I'll second.
Moved by Ms. French, second by Ms. Franklin, and I will go to Assistant City Manager Green.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. I made one minor edit in the salary ordinance, and then I just clarified that this 5% is for full-time employees, and we will be leaving our part-time staff at the 4%.
All right, is there anyone from the public who would like to address this ordinance before council? Seeing none, council questions or discussion? All right, Ms. Barber, you may call the roll.
Ms. French?
Yes.
Ms. Ornelas?
Yes.
Mr. Snavely?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Mayor Smith?
Yes, all right. That ordinance is adopted. We have a discussion item tonight about council goals, and Jessica's going to give us an update on that.
Let me get my screen pulled up here. Maybe. Yay, okay. All right. Okay, so in your packet is a very informative chart of all of the goals that you guys passed in 2025 and all of the updates for the year. And for those of you who've been around for a while, you know that we're always kind of on a 2-year cycle. So 2025 goals actually started in 2024. And then we drafted the budget, we passed them, we adopted these goals. I gave a report in July about how we're doing, and now here we are with the year-end report. But instead of going through maybe a tedious report, Heather had the really fun idea to do a 2025 wrapped highlights reel. And those of you who might use a certain music app might know that you get a little report at the end of the year of your genres, your minutes listened, your age. I'm 82 because I listen to classical music. But anyways, it's a really fun way. And so tonight is going to be a highlights reel of our 2025 goals. And I'll admit to being like my ambition for adding music to this and the whole thing exceeded my talent very quickly, but know that it was in my heart. Okay. And I maybe spent a little too long on it before I was like, just stop. So tonight is a review of progress toward the comprehensive plan, as you know, is like the heart of what we do and our goals each year. And on our genre, first up, our most listened to, in my opinion, is housing. And so we spent hours, Sam and his team and Zach have spent hours working on really important policy updates, including the Chapter 11 rewrite, which involves density and parking and green space and a lot more that I don't even know about. And it's not done yet, but that doesn't mean that hours of work haven't gone into it, and you're gonna see it again in 26. Continuing with policy, the Housing Advisory Commission researched tons of policy. We spent a lot of time on different fair housing laws and what was right for Oxford. And we landed on that we needed a ban on source of income discrimination, and you guys passed it. When we talk about real housing, Habitat for Humanity has gone through the Planning Commission. They have a plan development. They're going to be working on 32 units of housing. They're going to start in spring of 26. Empower Me and Inclusive Housing Resources is going through the plan development process now. They're going to be at Planning Commission next week, and we hope to see 16 units from them. And then finally, for the first time, Council gave a grant of $70,000 for shelter from your ARPA interest. And that collaboration of faith communities and nonprofits and just rock star volunteers is doing great work in our community. Sidebar, like the meeting minutes, and listen, that's just made up, but it was for fun. Our next genre, climate. This song was going to be Walking on Sunshine. Because we have solar coming to our wastewater
Yeah.
treatment plant. And yes, I know, so exciting. And we have gold level status with the Ohio EPA. And we spend hours researching recycling policy. We're not done yet, but I want to admit that hours of research went into recycling policies. We got a grant for Senior Center for solar, which is exciting, but they haven't told me how much yet, but I'm waiting. But they also, you're getting the grant. Yay, how much? I don't know. So stay tuned, that's coming. And did you know that we have students who are going around doing efficiency assessments at people's homes to help them make decisions about how to make their homes more efficient? So that's our climate. Our next genre for 2025, mobility. And this song was going to be, I like to move it, move it. And we are building phase 5 of the Oxford Area Trail. And this is huge, right? I call this one the Big Kahuna. We're connecting the east and the west, and we're crossing a road, and we're going north up to a multimodal station. And Scott and his team is just doing an amazing job. Amtrak, we just signed a lease with CSX. We just turned in our 60% design to Amtrak for plans with AECOM. Mike and Scott and I and Doug, we sat down and talked aesthetics, and so it's really moving. And I think in 2026, we're going to start construction, and I think we'll have it here by 27. We had a student group do an assessment of safety in the Mile Square and where we can make improvements. And you'll see those improvements in our projects for 2026. Sam just talked about planning for a master bike and ped plan that you guys just passed, and so we're going to see work on that. And then finally, we did some major maintenance on the covered bridge, which will help us last for another generation. So that's mobility. Also in our top genres is economic development. We passed an economic development strategy. We're working with the airport in Miami on a site readiness grant for the airport. We have 8 net new businesses in town. We have a new job pipeline with Talawanda, Butler Tech, and local healthcare businesses in Oxford. Just a really exciting partnership. And we had our first ever bee festival, so that was really exciting too. Continuing in 2025, we have a new dog park. Yes. We did a lot with public art, including we have one for the parking garage, still coming, it's coming. We worked out a partnership with the Miami University mural class for next year. We did haikus around town. We have art in our municipal building. We're really kind of hitting our groove with public art, I think. And then we did a lot with fire staffing. We passed the levy. We hired more people. We're really kind of starting to do stuff there. Surprise hits in 2025. So I didn't have a song for this one, but I could have gone with Bambi or something. But this one, these are categories that we weren't expecting, but took a lot of time. Cross-departmental, kind of a heavy lift because we're kind of learning. What is this? How do we do it? That kind of thing. And we'll have a little update at the end of tonight on how we're doing. But this was a surprise hit, as was clearing your sidewalks. These seem like small individual projects, but as a new thing, sometimes they require kind of a big lift. And so it took a lot of staff time this past couple of months. We are a transparent city, and I think we deeply value transparency. We had 141 public meetings in 2025. We fulfilled 360 public records requests. We have 679 YouTube subscribers, practically famous, and 6,172 views on our agendas and minutes page on our website. You go government nerds, whoever is out there clicking our agendas. We've had over 8,760 hours of police coverage, 24/7, 365 days a year that they are keeping us safe. We had 773 million gallons of water delivered for drinking water in our community. Thank you to Todd and Josh and their crew. Over 1 billion gallons of water treated. So thank you to Len and Patrick and their teams for wastewater. I call these guys our public health department. Any cholera? Any dysentery? No, because we have an amazing water team. We paved 2.35 miles of streets. We planted 4,500 flower bulbs, over 3,000 annual plants. We planted 119 trees. I'll make sure I get them all. And we hung up 90 hanging baskets. And then we had 28,444 pool visits and over 35,000 program participants with Parks and Rec. That's enough to keep anyone busy for a year. So with that, it's kind of our highlights reel for 2025. Please do read the table because it kind of goes through all the things we did, what we'll be talking about at our retreat will be what are we doing in 26 and then starting to plan for 27. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Yay.
I was kept waiting for the music.
Oh, no. Any questions or anything?
That was fantastic,
All right,
yeah.
thank you.
I think
Yeah.
you did a great job.
That's a great warm-up for the retreat, so,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And I'd like a copy of that playlist, please.
All right, well, let's move on to announcements and communications, and I'll turn it over to Doug Elliott.
Thank you. The Butler County Commissioners approved a resolution today to relocate Area 1 Court to Hamilton effective April 1st, 2026, at a cost not to exceed $125,000. As you know, the Area 1 Court has been located in Oxford since 1995. During this 30-year time period, the lease remained unchanged at $24,000 per year. So this centralization move will create travel burdens for residents currently served by the Area 1 Court in Oxford.
And
So-
cost them a lot of money.
Yes, yes. And I was at the meeting, but as you probably know, if you've ever gone to a Butler County Commissioners meeting, you don't get to speak until the meeting's over. So, but anyway, so as a result of this decision by the Butler County Commissioners, we'll be exploring the option of creating a mayor's court with an appointed magistrate to handle the court docket. The mayor's court is only permitted to handle misdemeanor offenses, traffic cases, and other municipal ordinance violations occurring in the city of Oxford only. So currently, Area 1 Court serves the city of Oxford and 6 townships: Hanover, Milford, Morgan, Oxford, Riley, and Wayne townships. So they will have to go to Hamilton, to the new Area 1 Court when it's established. The city will have the added expense of at least 3 positions: a magistrate, clerk, and a prosecutor, and the cost of these positions will be offset somewhat by the revenue from the fines and fees charged. According to the Ohio Supreme Court structure of the Ohio judicial system, there were 264 mayor's courts in the state of Ohio, including Monroe and Trenton in Butler County. So I wanted to share that with you. Also, we had a kickoff meeting today with Malink Solar for the $2.6 million solar PV system at the wastewater treatment plant. This 1 megawatt AC system is scheduled for completion before the end of the year. The solar modules have been ordered and the electrical engineering drawings are 15% complete. We plan to have a groundbreaking in April at the site, and once the date has been established, we'll let you all know. So it's very exciting, as we all know. Lastly, I wanted to share with you, related to the goal of reducing our carbon footprint, ODOT has given the city approval for advertising for our Level 3 EV charger project. This project will provide 4 fast chargers at the Uptown Parks surface lot, which is at Main and Church, and 2 chargers at the municipal building parking lot. This project is 100% grant funded at a cost of just over $900,000, with our local match met with toll credits. Toll credits are credits that states earn from non-federal capital expenditures that agencies such as the Ohio Turnpike Commission make to improve highways that serve interstate commerce. We utilized toll credits when we did US 27 South, $11 million project, resulting in the fact that we really didn't have much to fund locally. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dreisbach?
Just 2 quick items. One, we're still making slow but steady progress on the water plant softening project permitting. We received notice from the Ohio EPA of no significant impact for the softening plant's discharge to 4 Mile Creek. So that was a loose end that was concerning, but that permit's been achieved, and we're waiting on the final permit to install. We should have that in a few weeks, hopefully, and then we'll be prepared to talk about advertising and how we finance that monster. Also, once again, congratulations to Scott Auto, bringing in another $250,000 in federal funds for a comprehensive safety action plan. This will allow us to hire some engineers to study traffic in the entire city and comprehensively evaluate why accidents are happening. Are they distracted drivers? Are they impaired drivers? Is there not enough visibility? Is the speed limit too fast? There'll be a detailed analysis of the entire city, and that will help us in future CIP planning. So, good news, and that is 100% funded, no local match. So, thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. Chief Jones?
Just wanted to give an update on the professional population control program for the deer management. After 2 nights, 62 deer have been harvested, and they're out again tonight. So obviously our goal is at least 100. And so they'll be here this week doing that, as Jessica mentioned. We're learning a lot. Our staff has been a lot more involved than we originally thought we'd be. But you know, you combine this, after this ends, there'll be another session of archery hunting open back up. So hopefully that'll add to it. And but you know, we plan to afterwards we'll sit down, reevaluate it. I think there's some additional steps I want animal control to do with some education about the ban on feeding wildlife. We've identified several places that are doing that, and I want to at least do some education and enforcement at those places too. So anyway, so the number is at 62 right now. So I just wanted to give you that update.
All right, thanks. Ms. Ridenour?
I have nothing, thank you.
All right. Chief Deathridge? All right. Mr. Perry?
You may have seen the construction fence go up, the park. That's for the restroom construction that is getting underway. So there will be, the large spruce tree will be coming down this week. So that'll be sad, but we'll be planting a couple new evergreen trees on either end of the restroom when the project's complete. So anyway, just to let you know, we'll have an FAQ page on the website, and there'll be a construction sign there too that kind of shows a rendering. So thank you.
All right, thanks. Jessica? Ms. Barber?
Nothing, thank you.
Yes, I'm going to make a few comments that are going to be longer than usual, and I apologize for that, but I want to talk about Mayor's Court, because as this discussion goes on, there may be questions that come up with you as elected officials.
Yep.
And this is going to be a nuanced and layered discussion, so this is just the beginning. First, Mayor's Courts have developed a bad reputation over the years for a variety of reasons. What comes to my mind, and we'll see who got gauge age on this, Broderick Crawford and Highway Patrol chasing speeders. I think there's only a few people who will get that reference. But anyway, and Chief Justice Tom Moyer, who passed away in 2010, made it a point of emphasis in the early 2000s to do away. He really wanted to see Mayor's Courts done away with, because there were a number of courts that were the proverbial speed traps. They were heavy-handed. You had people who had no legal training, literally mayors. And so that initiative led to the use of magistrates, which is why Doug mentioned that would be an important component of that. That's not to say that you won't hear of some communities that still have, quote, mayors who are elected officials without formal legal training. But the bottom line is Mayor's Courts can be very, very useful tools in the right type of community. Oxford, as a standalone community, probably wouldn't be able to support a mayor's court standing alone. But given the volume, the student population here, aspects of justice, diversion programs, young people making mistakes in their lives that shouldn't follow them, diversion programs, et cetera, there's a legitimate basis to have that conversation and seriously consider the mayor's court component. There was a study done back in 2017 by the city about potentially creating its own municipal court. That is not a viable option, because even though the municipal court jurisdiction could be in theory broader, include townships, having civil function within the court has some impracticality to it. So a mayor's court is a limited, very, very limited jurisdiction court. It would essentially handle all traffic and criminal cases that would appropriately be here. limited to first offense DUIs, second offenses wouldn't come here. If a person makes a jury demand, the case is automatically sent over to the municipal court. But functionally, the court would be functionally very similar to how it operates now, but would only be taking cases that originate within the geographical boundaries of the city of Oxford. So the process is going to take a while. There's some little courts around that we can look to, and as we think about this, I would ask you to think about what you would like to know to understand more about the process. If someone approaches you and suggests that this is not a good idea for whatever reasons, I would contend that they have bad information. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Snavely?
You know, there are now at least 3 dates that are infamous, and one of them is December 7th when we were attacked at Pearl Harbor, September 11th, which most of us remember, and January 6th. And today is January 6th. And so I'd like to commemorate and have us think about the police officers who were attacked brutally and the massive seditious attack on our Capitol. And it happened despite people wanting to put it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen, or say that it was, oh, just a casual, polite visit to the Capitol. It was nothing of the kind. And those of us who stood there and watched our police officers being attacked, we know. And I was there watching it on television until they finally voted in the wee hours of the morning. I think that we need to always remember and commemorate January 6th. Thank you.
Vice Mayor French?
On a sad note, just wanted to recognize the passing of Rick Bailey. He was a really strong early member of OSH. Ann Bailey, his wife, is one of the founding members. Rick was a true delight to work with and so passionate about helping our community. He will be immensely missed.
Gentlemen.
And I also, Chief Jones, related to the deer, I literally ran past both the police and fire chief last night, so that was really, that's really what you want when you're struggling your way through. Yeah, I did feel really safe though, for whatever that's worth. But just a shout out to Nikki and Angela, who I met on the way back, and they told me what they were up to, so I'm just thanking both of them for being out there. And then I also, on said run, there is a patch of water that has turned to ice in front of Woodside that has just been ice for weeks. Like even last night I had to dodge around it, which is, water happens, but just with with the sidewalk clearing, I want to make sure that we are also in the clear. So I don't know what's happening with the water pooling outside the cemetery, but it's making a block of ice that happens to be directly in the shade all the time, so it's just not melting. So I just wanted to bring that up.
There's a spring there that is migrating towards
Perfect.
Chestnut instead of to the ditch. We're aware and we'll find a solution.
Great, sounds good. Okay, that's all I had. Thanks.
Councilor Franklin?
I want to say thank you to everyone from the community who submitted entries into the municipal art call for photography. Some wonderful, wonderful submissions. And PACA will be meeting on January 12th to do the jurying. So again, it's just wonderful to be part of a community where so many people are interested in participating in our various art exhibits. And I really wasn't planning to say anything about January 6th, but thank you, Councilor Snavely, for saying something. It is an important date that we really do need to remember. And I think one of the things that I remember from that date in particular was a friend of mine from Turkey who on WhatsApp was recording what she was seeing on television as it was happening. And I was at a medical appointment, in fact, and saying, Amber, what is happening in the United States? She used to live here. She had moved back to Turkey. Meanwhile, my husband's at home, and my mom from the Caribbean is texting him and saying, Dana, are you watching CNN? What is happening? And I think it's powerful to think about what our country, though never perfect, had meant to so many other people in so many other countries around the world, and what a shock it was, not to all, but to many people across the world to see this happen, because they knew that if this could happen here, it meant that the safeguards that they thought might have existed for some of their countries were not going to be in place. And we're seeing it happen now. And I do think that the rebuilding of our democracy has to happen at the local level, that it's people looking at each other, talking to each other, engaging with each other across differences that's going to help to build this up. So I was heartened to hear about people who, over the holidays, managed to engage with each other without having big blow-ups over politics. We need more of that. But we also need more honesty and openness across differences as well. So this is a sad day, and one that I will not forget, and that I will always be able to say happened.
Thank you.
Councilor Ornelas?
I'd like to take a moment to thank a business that is just across the border in College Corner, or was until the end of last week. And that is the 21 Blues Club that I think probably several of you visited at some point. And the thing that was so extraordinary about the business that Rhonda, Jimmy, and Jimmy had was that they wanted to bring in good music, create a space for community to come together and enjoy that space. In addition to that, I'd also like to acknowledge the fact that not only did they bring in fantastic regional and national individuals to come and play music at the club, they offered up the space for community to use for multiple events. I attended several fundraisers there, especially for TOPS in the fall and summer, and that right there speaks to the community element of that club. And in these times with economic casualties all around us in terms of business and people struggling financially, unfortunately, they were one of the victims in their third year and realized that they had to close. But I want to thank you, Rhonda, Jimmy, and Jimmy out there for your business, for the vision that you had, the generosity, the talent. And I'm just happy to say that I was there. Thank you.
Well said. I just want to clarify real quickly, if we do adopt a mayor's court, I will not be the judge, nor would I want to be. Strictly a name. And just a quick update and congratulations to the Miami men's basketball team, who are ahead 39-35 right after halftime. In their quest to go undefeated. So, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Oh, yeah. Wow, yeah.
I think we had one meeting. This might have been before you joined us again, but like, it was like
Greg
15
was,
minutes.
I was very close to as well.
Dick Keebler was the worst. He was always trying to get the record. Oh, yeah, he was very competitive about that. Him and Kevin McKiernan used to be like, I wouldn't have had a meeting in like 22 minutes with only one agenda item.
And he's a proud IU law grad too, so.
It's going to take as long as it takes, guys.
So what?